How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So last time you were here, we were talking about your parents, and we talked about when you moved up north. That's about where we left off. Do you want to continue with that?
Sure. Well, when I was 12, my parents decided to move us up north and took us out of our city life where we've been living our entire lives. And they decided to move us up into Florence County, which is 4 hours away, 30 miles away from Iron Mountain. So it was a big transition. And I never really went up when we were just going up for the weekend and stuff, because I didn't like it. I'm a city girl through and through, and I don't like to be in the woods. I don't like bugs, bears, and they just sprang it on us and said, "Hey, we're moving up north." I was like, "Oh,
that
this
has
isn't
been
gonna be
very hard."
Yes, very. And they moved right after I ended 6th grade. We moved in like July, I think, and it was the worst time of my life. I was they moved us when I was just starting junior high.
Okay.
And it's an awkward time in your life to begin with.
You're a teenager.
Yes, and they moved us. I'm like, okay, you're gonna move us out of the city, move us to the country, and in a completely different part of the state.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anybody, and we didn't have any electricity, no running water. We had a phone. We lived in a cabin that my father built, and it was rough.
Those were some big changes at that time of your life.
Big. And I never missed a day of school unless they pulled us out to come down here. And it was rough. I just remember when we first got up there, I was so homesick. And I was so close to my grandma. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't do this. And we moved into the cabin, and it was just awful. Going from the city to the country is hard enough, but when you move into the woods, and you have to deal with bugs and all sorts of stuff right around there. We had to walk a half a mile to get to the bus when school started. And I was in 7th grade. My sister was in 3rd grade, and my other sister was in kindergarten.
Okay.
And we were walking to the bus, and then first of all, it's like new people on the bus. Everybody else knew each other because they've all lived up there. And my sisters and I were like the only newbies.
Yeah.
And we had an hour and a half of bus ride to school and back.
Wow.
But it was an adjustment because you go from having running water, flushing toilets, you can take a shower whenever you want to having to take a bath every other day.
Yeah.
Or when you're at school, you take a shower because you actually have running water. I just was having a hard time with adjusting to that.
Did your parents include you in the decision when they decided to
No.
move? That had to have been hurtful.
Yes. They told us we were moving.
Okay.
We had no say in anything.
Yeah.
And they just decided to. Well, my mom said that my dad wanted to move up north, and if my mom said you have 2 years to get us jobs, and get us a house with electricity and running water, or we're moving back. Well, you get used to having no running water and no electricity, and
you can adjust.
Yes, and it got to the point where, in the winter I went cross-country skiing in the little area that we lived in, and I went downhill skiing once. Never did it again. I thought I was going to die. But then you get used to school and the surroundings.
Yeah.
And I was in like 8th grade, and I tried out for cheerleading for the JV team.
Okay.
And I made the squad, and then they moved us back.
That had to have been very difficult.
Yes, it was. And it's like, I didn't understand how they could just uproot our lives and then do it again
Yeah.
when we get used to it.
Did you talk to them about it?
No, I still haven't.
Okay.
I mean, I make comments, but I've never really sat down to talk to them because they're not really the type of people that we can just sit down and have a conversation, like
Yeah.
a deep, meaningful conversation. So,
Have you tried to have a deep, meaningful conversation with them?
no, because it's uncomfortable.
Okay.
I mean, I've never really talked to my mom about anything.
Okay.
She never really talked to us about sex and all that stuff. So it's like you have to learn all that stuff at school or from your friends or whatever.
What does that mean to you?
It seems like I wish I had a deeper or a deeper relationship with my parents.
Mm.
But I mean, it bothers me to a point, but not like overly
Okay.
bother me.
Well,
So,
that's good. Well, what I'm hearing is that it still seems to frustrate you that they've moved you, and it
Mhm.
still is bothering you that they uprooted your life twice. So if that is something that still affects you in your lifetime, maybe it would be worth, maybe not even talking to them face to face, but maybe if you wrote a letter about it, you didn't have to give it to them, but if you wrote about it, journaled about it, maybe that would help you get out those
Probably.
feelings.
yeah, I would probably want to give it to him though, just because it seems like my dad gets very frustrated when I say I don't want to go camping and I don't want to go up north. I mean, I'd like to go take a day trip. I mean, it's a long day. It's 4 hours there, 4 hours back.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd like to show my boyfriend where we lived.
Yeah.
But my dad got frustrated with me earlier this year because I said I don't camp. I said my idea of camping is like a 2-star hotel or a motel,
Yeah.
and it's like I can't do it again. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going up north this weekend to a cabin with no
The
running
same
water.
cabin?
No, they're going to a different one that my parents, my dad owns with my brother-in-law and then his dad and brother.
Okay.
So my sister asked me if I wanted to go, and I said no. I'm like, I want flushing toilets.
Have you discussed it with your sister?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
We
How does
talk
your
about-
sister feel about it?
she's a little more well-adjusted than I am because her and her husband have the cabin and they go up there with their kids.
Okay.
But I can't do it.
You were at a different age.
Yeah.
You were a different age than she was.
And she was more of a girly girl than I was. I mean, I got used to the bugs and everything. She never did.
Okay.
But now she deals with it
Okay.
because her kids are with her and
Yeah.
they go up and spend the weekend or spend a week, and I just can't do it
Okay.
at all.
Hmm.
My idea of camping is like no room service at a motel. So,
Well, do you think that you could talk to your parents, or write a letter, or talk to them to try and get past this? Or do you think?
probably. I mean, my dad, I just would like for my dad to not get angry when I say that I don't like camping, and I
Yeah.
didn't. I mean, because I adjusted to living up there, but
Yeah.
now I'm not going camping. I'm not going to the cabin or anything like that. I'll go up for the day,
Oh.
maybe an hour.
Well, that's all really hard stuff to deal with as a teenager. It's, and then when it's your parents' decision and you're not included, that's even harder, and especially at that age.
Yeah,
So,
my sisters seem to adapt to it more.
yeah.
And my one sister she would go up north and go camping, and my other sister is the one that has the cabin, and she is starting to adjust to it now, but I just can't do it.
As you grew older, did your parents make other decisions without discussing them with you?
No, not really.
Okay.
That was the most major one.
Okay. Has it made you more open as a person?
No.
Do you discuss things more?
Not really. I mean, I bottle things up,
Okay.
and then eventually it'll come out, but it just doesn't come out when it needs to.
Okay.
So,
And writing that letter may help you work on that. Journaling is a very healthy tool. So
never really thought about that.
it really works wonders. So, well, thank you for coming in,
Sure.
and we will see you again next time.
Thank you.